From metro to manufacturing, semiconductors to artificial intelligence, batteries to bullet trains, India and Japan are likely to enhance bilateral cooperation as Prime Minister Modi visit Japan on a two-day visit, his eighth to the country. On Friday, Prime Minister Modi highlighted India's political and economic stability while pitching the country as a destination for Japanese investments. Addressing the India-Japan Economic Forum in Tokyo, Prime Minister Modi pitched for a partnership with Japan in areas such as semiconductors, batteries, robotics, shipbuilding and nuclear energy in a recreation of the same magic forged in automobiles.
भारत ने एआई, सेमीकंडक्टर, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, बायोटेक और स्पेस में बोल्ड और एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं। जापान की टेक्नोलॉजी और भारत का टैलेंट मिलकर इस सदी के टेक रिवॉल्यूशन का नेतृत्व कर सकते हैं।
With his counterpart, Shigeru Ishiba, next to him, Prime Minister Modi said Japan's excellence and India's scale can create a perfect partnership. Prime Minister Modi said political and economic stability have helped India emerge as the world's fastest growing major economy.
आज भारत में पॉलिटिकल स्टेबिलिटी है, इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी है, पॉलिसी में पारदर्शिता है, प्रिडिक्टिबिलिटी है। आज भारत विश्व की सबसे तेज ग्रो करने वाली मेजर इकोनॉमी है और बहुत जल्द विश्व की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी बनने जा रहा है।
Both Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Ishiba emphasized the complementarity between India's workforce and Japan's advanced technology. Prime Minister Modi noted that Japanese companies have invested more than $40 billion in India, including $13 billion in past 2 years. Addressing the media after the bilateral talks, Japanese Prime Minister said he was in awe of Indian history. He said Japanese tech transfer will be conducive for Make in India and Make for the world.
When we think about Japan and India relations going forward, we need to take advantage of each other's strengths to bring solutions to our challenges and to help each other, or to think about possible solutions for the next generation's challenges where no answer is seen today, to bring wisdom together, to co-create solutions. And that, I believe, would be the benefit for both of our countries in having complementary and mutual relationship.
On this issue, I am joined by Ambassador Shashank, former Foreign Secretary, live from New York, and Ambassador Suresh Goyal, former Indian diplomat. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me. Let me straight away go to Mr. Shashank. Sir, why is this visit important? What are the takeaways you think? And how do we sum up India's traditional relationship with Japan, sir?
I think an extremely important visit. There are several angles to it. First of all, of course, Japan's technology prowess and India's skill development programs, India's youth power, knowledge power in India, and with having so many of the CEOs in America of Indian origin. So I think now Japan, which had been keeping away from India for a very long time, I think in the last decade or so, they have taken very strong partnership with India as one of their major plans for future. That is number one. Second is that Japan and India are both members of Quad. So it is not really looking backwards as many of the scholars and commentators are doing, that we are going back to RIC, Russia, India, China partnership. We are going back to SCO. We are going back to developing special relations with Russia and China, as happened in 1971 when America was totally against us and sent its nuclear ships to bamboozle India. No, so I think that is the other thing, very important to convey, that it is for India is working for the future. Japan partnership with India is for the future. And so we want a better relationship in Asia, in the world. And if President Trump feels that India is the key country which can bring Russia around to have more peaceful relations in Europe with Ukraine and the NATO countries, I think India should keep in mind that it's not entirely wrong. And therefore, we should do our signaling properly. And the government is doing that. That it is not just partnering with the old friends, which of course we cannot go away with that because there is a legacy kind of an arrangement. There is a trust between Russia and India where we have been transferring technology from one to the other and the other has been using it effectively. Look at China. China transferred some weapons to Pakistan and Pakistan could not use them effectively. So therefore, that difference is there. We have to keep in mind that with America, we have invested a lot in building up a relationship for this century. Not only because we want to work against the interests of other countries. It's not expansion of NATO towards Asia. It's expansion and widening of the NATO perspective to bring about peaceful relations in Asia and the world. And therefore, India has a unique role to play in that. I mean, if our Prime Minister can talk to Zelensky and President Putin and to President Trump, I think we should keep up that thing very much in mind for the future. Not go back and say, okay, 1971 moment has come, and so we have to now say that we are totally being cornered by America and Pakistan, and they are trying to befriend China. And so, therefore, we have to go about building a kind of relationship as fighting from a cornered place. No, I think what we have to keep in mind is that America is trying to put pressure on India to remain a good partner of America. But they want India to behave in the same way as the European Union or UK would behave and say, okay, sir, you tell us what we have to do, we will do accordingly. India will not be able to do it because India has a unique value to provide and therefore we should not forget about that.
Absolutely.
So neither should we go back to the future nor should we go to the European side and accept that as the our perspective.
Absolutely, sir. Now, India is also, I would say, all set to get its first bullet train. India and Japan may forge a partnership for manufacturing the next generation E10 Shinkansen bullet. Now, the joint manufacturing will take place in India. It's E10 with special modification to boost Mumbai-Ahmedabad bullet train project. A lot of people would say that, it didn't happen, though it was part and parcel of the 2014 election campaign. But I think the fact that we are trying to work towards it is important. Now, second issue is that the focus is also going to be on the technology of semiconductors, and semiconductor remains crucial for various applications including cars, electric vehicles, inverters, and anything which we use in terms of modern appliances. So my question to you, Ambassador Goyal, is easier said than done. TASPAC, Taiwan, they have complete domination of this trade. Do you think that it's a little late when we are talking about semiconductor technology? In fact, Taiwan has left the Americans behind in that.
Let me put it this way. There are two issues here to my mind.
Okay.
Number one, I don't think the economic cooperation in the global arena is not the right word to use, but nonetheless, for want of a better word, in the global area, if you want to develop cooperation, you cannot focus on one country, just one country. And I was listening very carefully to Ambassador Shashank about the multilateral cooperation, the need to really diversification, etc., etc. The issue really here is that for any area, whether it is AI, semiconductors, green energy, you name it, whatever, or telecommunications, I think once we put all of our eggs in one basket, we are subjecting ourselves to some kind of leverages and pressure. And for a country like India, a big country like India, ambitious country like India, which is competing to become economically and politically, strategically as a big power really, it will not be appropriate to do that. And from that point of view, diversification of both the supply sources, diversification of partners in technology area, diversification in terms of investment is not only appropriate, I think it's absolutely essential. So from the diversification point of view, if we begin to look at the partners in this area, and I must say I am rather hurt, both politically and otherwise, by the behavior of the USA towards India for something like cooperation with Russia. When enough has been said about how different countries are using it, but for in the USA, I seem to detect development of a kind of an animosity. It's a very strong word, but there seems to be an hint of animosity towards India for some reason or the other. And we need to convey a message to our good friends. And I'm sure we will remain good friends sooner or later. Our relationship will be on track again. But we need to convey a message that you cannot take India for granted. It is necessary. Just like in the case of China, we need to tell them that you cannot take us for granted. And therefore, if we are developing the relation, there is a reset. We know there are issues and we need to resolve those issues. Japan, on the other hand, I've seen relations with Japan develop since mid 1970s when I just joined the service. At that time, it was a minuscule part, not at all substantive, and Japan looked at India as a recipient of aid, and India looked at Japan as some distant country without any substance in the relation. Today, it's a very substantive relationship, both in terms of investment, technological transfer. And therefore, I would say here with considerable seriousness that even though Taiwan is a main country in terms of producing semiconductors, they're producing 3 nano semiconductors. We don't need that to begin with. Therefore, we don't need to go for the top really at the moment. We need to start our technological journey in the area of semiconductors. And Japan is a very, very good partner in that. Number 2, please do remember, Taiwan is possible, there is possibilities of pressure coming on Taiwan from other sources, including the USA, because Taiwan's security depends upon USA. So we need to keep our options open. And I think Japan, in terms of all these areas, particularly artificial intelligence, I don't think we can find any better alternative than Japan.
Absolutely, yes. Sir. Now, there is another thing, I would say another development that's going to happen day after tomorrow, because the Prime Minister will go to China, and then first day is going to have a meeting with Xi Jinping, and the second day is going to have a meeting with Vladimir Putin. And that is going to be an important visit, because this visit is divided into 2 parts, and the Prime Minister Modi said that he was looking forward to meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping and Putin on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. Now, his meetings with Xi and Putin will be closely watched across the capital. So my question to you is, Ambassador Shashank, my question to you is, what should be expected of Prime Minister's bilaterals with Xi Jinping and Putin? Should we moderate our expectations, sir?
No, we don't have to expect to lower our expectations. I think what we should try to tell both of them, what Prime Minister has been telling them always, that this is not an era of war. Era of conflict. We should not think in terms of nuclear conflicts in future. So what we have to try to do is to, firstly, with China, we have to make sure that there is a reliability and long-term projection about the stability of supplies. The partnerships, supply chain partnerships which we are developing in Asia and elsewhere, they should continue unabated. That's number 1, and the balance should be there. I mean, if we are buying about $114 billion worth of goods from China, then China cannot simply say, okay, you make $100 billion out of India. So I think they should try to do something. And we have already given some inclination to allow better visa facilities to Chinese business people, Chinese students, and also for Chinese investments into India. So there should be stability, and then the Chinese should store all the information with regard to India in India. So then they should try to behave as a better international partner, which will also be a kind of a indication for other European countries and other partners of India that they don't have to insist that India should give tax exemptions and should allow international storage of information about India and Indians. As regards Putin is concerned, I think we have great partnership with Russia, that we don't have to bother about it, because there is going to be more defense level relationship, more high-tech, more joint production, more concepts about joint R&D, etc. I think that they should develop, but at the same time, we should be able to influence the thinking in both China and Russia that while we strengthen the RIC cooperation, well, it should be benefit for the whole world. It should be for the benefit of Asia. We are not thinking in terms of the old Cold War kind of a scenario, which led us to think of 1971. But we should really look towards the future. And that is a very important initiative which Prime Minister can do. Like President Trump thinks that he is the third glorious president in USA. We think that Prime Minister Modi is the first Prime Minister of India who can really do a lot of changes for India, for Asia, and for the world. And I think therefore he should not miss this opportunity. It's an extremely crucial round of meetings in Japan and China with Xi and with Putin.
So, a lot of people will not remember that, Ambassador Goyal, that India decided to pull out of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership in 2019, which, provide for free trade between 15 countries, because we had our anxiety that, China would get easy access to our markets. So, a lot of people have written that trading with China is not like trading with US, it's a different ball game. Your comments on that, sir, and can the trade ever be natural? We enjoyed surplus with America and there's a huge deficit when it comes to China.
I hope you give me some time on that issue, because
yes, sir.
I feel very strongly on the point that you have mentioned. First of all, we didn't pull out of RCEP. We didn't join RCEP at all, even though the offer was open to us. And even today, we can join RCEP if we are inclined towards doing it. So that's entirely a different issue. We didn't join RCEP. Personally, I think it was a mistake. But the decision makers have a broader view, and they thought that it was not appropriate to join RCEP. At that time, maybe now, whenever, if you think it gives us some benefit, we will. I think we should. But anyway, that apart. Coming to the issue of trade. Trade is a natural process. Countries will trade wherever there are advantages. If we cannot allow the trade the natural way, and we all know the 70s and 60s, then it will take place illegally. It depends upon where the advantages are, but the trade will take place whether you want to stop it or you don't want to stop it. Therefore, I have no argument at all on whether trade should take place China and the USA, etc., etc. Please remember, post Galvan, we said go local. We did that, but the export from China to India has actually increased because we needed the infrastructural material from them. We may not buy toys, etc., but we do. They still supply a lot of material for our own growth and development. APIs, they continue to grow. Therefore, I don't think we should be hesitant or reluctant in terms of entering into trade ties with China, or tomorrow if USA does agree to look at our point of view and say that all right, increasing tariff was a mistake, let us talk trade terms, and we should not say no to them, but we should be hard-nosed and we should be realistic about it. We should see where our advantages are. We should see what we want, not what they want, and negotiate for it. Our problem is that we look at negativity. What do they want? Can we give it to them? Not what we want, not what we need. Just like in the case of artificial intelligence or semiconductors. India was a forward-looking country in the area of semiconductor in 70s. I remember that. And we closed our only one semiconductor plant and we lost the advantage. APIs. Our pharmaceutical industry grew on the strength of APIs. We sent it of China. Short-sighted. Therefore, negotiate with both China and USA. USA is prepared to offer, but be hard-nosed, be realistic. As far as the border is concerned, I know with China there are issues. Negotiate with them. Don't give it to them. China needs trade, as we do. And let us be realistic and see where we can come together.
Okay. I think that was I think you made that point strongly, and it is indeed a strong point. I admit that, Ambassador Goyal. Yes, indeed. Thank you. I've really run short of time, sir, because I really need to pass on the baton. It's almost 8 o'clock, so this is all I had on point today. I'll see you on Monday at the same time. Thank you and good night.
बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
The power of Digi-Alkaline from Nippo Thor.
Love makes you go the distance. Unlimited Love. The B6 Pack 2 starts at 21.9 lakh.
Light, camera, and action. Kick back, relax, grab your favorite snack because News9 is here with your weekend dose of entertainment. It's time to take a deeper dive